Hello friends! In science fiction movies, we often see people leaving Earth to settle on other planets. We dream of building human colonies on the Moon and Mars, becoming an interplanetary civilization. Colonizing other planets or moons is no longer just a dream or science fiction. It's becoming a reality, starting with NASA's Artemis mission. From 1968 to 1972, the US launched a total of 7 missions to land humans on the Moon, 6 of which were successful. During these missions, 12 people, including Neil Armstrong, set foot on the Moon. The last mission, Apollo 17, was launched in 1972. Since then, no country has sent a manned mission to the Moon, and over 50 years have passed since humans last visited the lunar surface. But now, history is set to repeat itself, bringing a new era of advanced technology to the Moon. The goal of the Artemis program is to land the first woman and the next man on the Moon by 2026 and build a research base there by 2028. Scientists have selected a crater 12 miles wide and 2 miles deep as the location for this Artemis base. Imagine a huge lunar base inside this deep, dark crater. But why is there a need to establish a base on the Moon? And how will it be useful for future space missions? The need to create a base on the Moon arose from discoveries made by ISRO's Chandrayaan-1 mission, which detected water on the lunar surface, sparking renewed interest from NASA. If this water can be split into hydrogen and oxygen and then turned into liquid form, it could serve as rocket fuel, extremely valuable for space missions. Any spacecraft launched from Earth could be refueled on the Moon, enabling it to travel even farther. NASA believes that between 600 million to 1 billion metric tons of lunar ice exists on the Moon, which could become a major resource for future human missions. If we use this water efficiently, the Moon could serve as a refueling station for missions to Mars. But creating a lunar base won't be easy. The Artemis program has 4 main components. First is the SLS, or Space Launch System rocket, the most powerful rocket yet, designed to carry spacecraft into Earth's orbit. The second component is the Orion spacecraft, where astronauts will sit as it transports them to the Moon. Third, the Lunar Gateway, a small space station that will orbit the Moon. And fourth, the Human Landing System, which will take astronauts down to the Moon's surface. Together, these components will make the mission possible. In the first mission of the Artemis program, astronauts won't land on the Moon, as it's too risky initially. Before any human mission, it's essential to ensure that the technology for sending and returning people from the Moon works correctly. This is why scientists conduct unmanned missions first, and when these are successful, they proceed with manned missions. In the Apollo program, for instance, there were several unmanned and crewed missions to test the systems before finally landing on the Moon in Apollo 11. Similarly, the Artemis program will start with 3 missions. The first mission, Artemis 1, will be a test flight where the SLS rocket will launch the Orion spacecraft without any humans on board. The goal is to confirm that the rocket and spacecraft are safe for astronauts. 13 small satellites will also be launched during this mission. After Artemis I, Artemis II will send astronauts into the Moon's orbit to test Orion's life support systems for future missions. 4 astronauts will orbit the Moon for 4 days before returning. Then, Artemis III will be launched, marking the first time a woman will set foot on the Moon, and humans will return to the lunar surface after 50 years. Developed since 2011, the SLS is the world's most powerful super heavy lift rocket, capable of launching a 32-story building into space. The SLS will carry the Orion spacecraft into Earth's orbit, where Orion's journey begins. The spacecraft has 3 parts. The crew module, which can house 6 astronauts for deep space travel, though only 4 will go to the Moon on Artemis III. The service module, which maintains oxygen and pressure for the astronauts and contains an engine for deep space. And the escape system, which ensures astronaut safety during launch. Once in orbit, Orion will begin its journey to the Moon. NASA isn't undertaking the Artemis program alone. Some international and private companies are helping. Orion will reach the Moon's orbit but won't carry a lander. A human landing system will be set up in lunar orbit beforehand. When Orion arrives, it will dock with the landing system, allowing 2 astronauts to stay in Orion while the other 2 use the landing system to reach the Moon's surface. They'll conduct research on the surface for a week before returning to Orion and heading back to Earth. But the Artemis program doesn't end here. It marks the beginning of a new era. To create a human base on the Moon, A small space station called the Lunar Gateway will orbit the Moon, serving as a research station similar to the International Space Station but smaller. Future spacecraft from Earth will dock at the Gateway, allowing astronauts to conduct research and use a pre-existing landing system to reach the lunar surface. By 2028, a permanent lunar base will be established, aiding future Mars missions. We're fortunate to witness the dawn of this space age. So friends, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in next video. Thank you.